I think today I'll be looking at a lot of Chosen Grove games where I have no clue why they have a 58% win rate, and I'm very curious how that happened. Um, then afterwards, if I'm still feeling up to it, I might move on to different interesting matchups, or even review my own games to see how I could have played better, what my opponent did well, and go from there. So I guess we'll just start searching games. I will only do games today, starting from round two. Not because not interested in round one also, but just because I'm curious with higher competition how some of these um, factions do. I guess. Oop, CG. What is the abbreviation? Actually, CG's Cave Goblins. I'm curious what the abbreviation is. Oop. Sorry. Just realized my OBS is weird. Um, oh, CH. I'm stupid. Alright. I'll first look for CH wins. So here, Shoots versus Airstone, CH versus Vanguard. I feel like this would be a matchup which would be terrible for um, the trees, but we'll see. Allies I already saw, but people are interested, of course, so I can revisit that. So we'll do this one. CH winning versus Sand Goblins. That's nuts to me. We'll keep that one in the back pocket. Actually, is it nuts? Maybe not. Maybe just too much hit points for Sand Goblins to deal with, especially if you have a gate on the side. Um, Psych winning. Interesting. This will be an interesting game also. And then we can look at the losses, so maybe later. More curious about the wins right now. Okay, this is pool one. All right, let's look at the less wins than I thought it would be. Actually, no, never mind. I skipped a few. Let's watch them in order, I guess. All right. So this matchup is trees versus sand goblins. So sand goblins, I'm a firm believer is just top S tier faction. It does really well, or not necessarily really well, but it does 50-50 against most of the other S tier factions. It does has a decent matchup versus Shadow Elves, has a good matchup versus Cloaks, has a good matchup. Savannah Elves, I'd have to see more. It should be a good league matchup to see how that actually goes. Um, Trees are a brand new faction, and I can kind of see how they might match up well into Sand Goblins, where they just are very tanky. And also, a lot of their commons are also just very good. Like Guard 2/5 for 2, with Protect as well as Shove is really good. Um, I'm curious how Lime does it with 3 Stag Riders. Stag Riders seem terrible against Sand Goblins as you have multiple tools to deal with 2 hit points, and also you have a lot of mobility. I'm assuming they're going to throw away most of these Stag Riders. What I mostly see these days is that uh, a lot of the really good tree players will basically play one Stag Rider and try to keep that alive for most of the game. Um, we'll see. All right, this is a very standard Sand Goblins opening. Uh, just trying to get an attack. I'm curious. The ping on the guard's interesting. I do like the gate though I feel like this gate position is going to be occupied, so maybe I don't like it too much. With Sand Goblins is the one faction where I think discarding gates is actually very useful because you don't actually need that many gates, especially with super gates and how many times you can get gates from the discard pile. But you can see here, this gate has basically just become food for this tree to eat up. So probably not the best gate position. All right, Sand Goblins pushes up. Where are they putting the turret on? I'm assuming on Krusk, yeah, because they don't have the uh, the moving upgrade on the gate. Ooh, gets the 2-on-3 and then the 3-on-3. Is that 3-on-3? Yeah, is able to kill the guard. Huh. Okay, trying to get some early damage on Krusk makes a lot of sense. Gets the 3 for 3. These range dice are great. Uh, Interesting going for the rider compared to the gate, but I can kind of understand it in the sense of one, um, actually probably pushing the rider there doesn't really matter too much. Uh, but just getting a little bit of health off a rider, a 5 health unit is always easier. Makes it a lot easier to deal with. 5 health I think is always the trickiest amount of health. What's up, Bees8? How are you doing? Um, 5 health is always a very tricky amount of HP to deal with because, especially if it's commons, based off luck, it either takes like 2 or 3 attacks of commons to deal with it. So just getting some chip damage on 5 health is always nice. Interesting the gate on the side. I think usually it's the gate in front, but I can understand with the gate positioning of Sand Goblins. And also Nimbid is at 20 health, you don't mind. It's actually beneficial for Nimbid to get hit a few times now. All right, looks like trying to kill both Seed Bears this turn. Yeah, tree big, agreed. Yeah, I was saying earlier, my goal of this game is to go through a lot of tree games because I'm very interested to see how they're doing so well in the Plat Hat tournament. They have a 58% win rate. Filth, I can understand. Trees, I had no clue, and I'm just curious to see how it's going. So, yeah, this Seed Rider survived, which is kind of sad for Sand Goblins because you'd rather keep that wrench. Um, at least deny the magic from the wrench. Yeah, both factions seem to be doing super well, which I'm very happy for. I think Fuzzy said that, and I completely agree with her. That the most recent faction release I think has been one of the most fun, where I enjoy playing both factions a lot. All right, this is super interesting by the tree, having both these gates in this area. I guess, huh? It looks like a long game from the sidebar, but I'm curious um, what Lime's game plan is right now. Uh, My God. So many units still alive. Sand Goblins would love to have a motor right now, or double motor would be amazing. All right, they have one. Oh, look at this value. You get literally 4 value. That's 100% always worth a card. When is a card ever worth 4 value? For, yeah. Interesting. Sand Goblins is using a lot of resources here, uh, trying to kill this gate, which I disagree with. Yeah, it's one of the best. You rarely see 5 damage motors. That's sick. The problem, as you probably realize, yeah, the crust gets a free gets freely chipped out again. Interesting. Sand Goblins with 7 magic. I'm assuming with that amount of magic, trying to go for an Uncle Sparks. Yeah, I think it was a misplay by them. I agreed. B's 8. Unless, yeah, it should. Ooh, gets a 3 for 3. That can be tilting as your opponent. Oh, does he get another 3 for 3? My God. If I were Chimp here, I'd be so tilted. A 6 for 6. Oh, does he get. Whoa! My God, a 9 for 9. The value. The value. This is also big because it's probably pretty hard, or just odds ratio wise, it's pretty hard to do 3 attacks with these commons and kill all 3. That's nuts. All right, big card difference between the two players, but at the same time, trees at very high health. They have both uproots, which is basically 2 free units. Uproot becomes so scary once trees mobile, as well as autumn. And they also have seasons still, which they haven't played. So, uh, who would I rather be with at this point? Ooh, these scavengers have been getting value. 4 units back. Uncle Sparks is up. Ben is a big Uncle Sparks player. I'm a Uncle Sparks semi hater, where I rarely feel like you need to play Uncle Sparks. Interesting with Audric. So yeah, against Sand Goblins, Scavengers you want to get rid of as quickly as possible, just so that they don't get value. Hmm. I can kind of see how this is a very hard matchup for Sand Goblins. It's just so much health to deal with. And Sand Goblins do a lot of damage, but they do. They're not, swamp orcs or anything. Yeah, Clink is probably a great champion to deal with Aldrich. You can just make him go out of position. All right, Summer. I see trying to threaten the Great. This is also a great idea versus Sand Goblins. Is you don't necessarily need to kill the gate, and I think sometimes having 10 health on a gate is very scary, which is moving towards you. But if you can just chip it once or twice, as soon as it gets to 6 health or less, versus most factions, Sand Goblins needs to start getting very worried. Hmm. So one of the reasons I'm a clink hater, or sorry, not a clink hater. Clink is always good. One of the reasons I'm a yeah. Oh, sorry, I was yeah, Clink is probably amazing versus Aldrich because you heal all the magic away. I was mixing up Slits and Clink. Yeah, no, both are probably very good. Especially like you said, Clink is probably amazing just because you heal all the magic, or sorry, you heal all the damage, all the pings Aldrich does. All right, we have Big Tree pushing up. But yeah, this is like you said, a very this knight is not getting summoned for a while, unless you start discarding. All right, this is going to be a big tree value right here. This rider is definitely dead. Sparks is probably dead. Oh no, did they do it? Did they do it? Don't do it. Yeah, not confirming the kill on the bear. Getting it back. Hmm. Yeah, both thrusters are back. Thrusters. Sand Goblins is a different deck before or after thrusters. All the value here. The value. All right, Aldrich pushing up. The one thing which I didn't appreciate is how much value Autumn has, and I'm curious if that's how this game ends. Autumn is so good when Nimid is able to move. You're able to surround summoners because of the diagonal positioning. Diagonal. Yeah, I can see it. This is not looking good at all for Sand Goblins, especially now that Nimid is mobile and Season's coming out next turn. This is not looking good. It might be actually this might be the last turn. Oof. Oof. Oh, I like that crust position. It's a good idea. Limit the gate spots. Oh my god. So good. Seasons is so good. Also, those poor the value on these uproots has been enormous. They've gotten two riders in a row, a 4 health rider and a 5 health rider. GG's. Oh, whiffs. All right. Is there any way Krusk can win this? Nope, not with Autumn. Yeah, I don't see any plays. GG's. Such an interesting matchup. In the end, Sangams might have been able to win, or sorry, of one if they had been more aggressive. But I'm curious if it's one of those matchups where you have to be aggressive as Sand versus just you're able to play passive. Is Nimid just with 20 health just way too much for Sand to deal with late game? Hmm. Yeah, this is the if Crust hits anything, it just dies with Aldrich. Like you said, B's 8. You need a Clink here. Clink might make this. Nah, you still lose, but might be playable. What's up, Bean? What's up? we're just watching a lot of tree games to understand why they have a 58% win rate. I have no clue why, but I'm trying to figure out. Oh, gets the 3 for 3. Wait. I'm actually very curious about this. Let me make sure I'm reading. So for Audric, damn. So that was, that was an all in. If Krusk had not gone to 3 for 3, Krusk would have died. I guess at that point you have nothing to do, but that's nuts. Hmm. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Makes sense. All right. Uh, let us see. All right. So this is Vanguard versus Tree. I think with tournament buffs, I'd rather be Vanguard just from the start. Um, just because I feel like Tree has very little things which can early on put a lot of damage on Sarah or Sierra. Sarah? Probably Sarah. Um, but we'll see how this match goes. Hmm. All right, immediately just getting a bunch of damage on guard, trying to get close, but not close enough to get uprooted. Hey, Grata. Yeah, this is tree only stream. Maybe we'll move on to other factions, but currently only trees. All right, got the 2 for 2, and then trying to kill his paladins, not able to. I feel like there, if I was vanguards, unless you didn't discard anything, I guess you can't get back a priest. Oh, we see the rare priest attack. Discard a card to heal. So bad. Vanguards are so bad. Priests OP. What's up, Takulu? What's up? Um, yeah, I feel like in this matchup, I would just hit with Sarah every turn possible. Because like, what's gonna hit you? Especially with good knight positioning, I don't think much is gonna be able to get on Sarah until later on in the game. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. No Sarah hit challenge. Hmm. All right, just using the tree's good commons to get some trades in. Are we gonna see a Jacob this turn? No. Interesting. Wants more magic, I guess, for Jacob. I'm curious if they're going to discard anything. I don't think you want to discard anything in this hand. I like how Jacob is usually the worst card in the or the worst champion in the game, arguably the worst card in the game. To in the tournament, like really good. Like I'm so happy in non plat hat tournaments when I'm able to play Jacob, but here it just is yeah, not worth it at all. All right, I already don't like this position because Sarah's also blocking a gate spot for No reason really. I guess they were potentially getting a shot on Nimid, but is that really worth it? I don't think that's the game plan really as Vanguards. Maybe I'm wrong though. 11 magic, please God, play Jacob. Oh, is that what they're trying to go here? Ooh, this could be a giant Jacob turn. 6 magic Jacob. Oh, oh. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh, 5. 5 dice and it gets the 5 for 5. It should be guaranteed if you're able to summon Jacob. Well, not in Plat Hat tournaments, but in normal games. I demand the buff to Jacob is that Jacob always hits max dice. Uh, all right, poor Jacob is about to die again. It was not long lived. And this position right here is just amazing for trees. They block both gates. Like Vanguard or Sarah's blocking the last spot. They do have another renew, which kind of gets them out of jail here, but at the same time, you rather not use a renew on this. Okay. Interesting knight position. I'm curious what they were thinking there. So Tree is way ahead on board, but Sarah has a 7 magic. Yeah, Colleen dropping. Colleen. Yeah. Colleen, though, the problem with Colleen is that, or in this position, I guess, Colleen's a great champion in general, but the problem in this position is that if you play Colleen, you want units around it uh, to give it value. When Colleen is only summoned with 1 knight, um, it's not the happiest. And here also, if I'm Tree, I can just play to kill all these gates. I don't even have to hit anything. I guess that's what they're going for. Ooh, the whiff 2 for 2. All right, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this is what I was thinking why it might be hard for Tree. Just get like infinite value with Sarah. You don't want to watch any of my games unless I won? Okay, okay. I'm doing the same thing with my games to Tugatron. Only my wins we're watching. We're not watching any of my losses. All right, Summer. Getting the damage on Colleen. Big damage. Big damage. Ooh. I feel like I get, as I've played, so I've been playing this game for what now, like a year and a half. I think I've gotten more and more jaded on dice. Like back in the day, if I saw a 0 for 3 range, I'd be like, oh, now I'm just like, whatever. That happens every other game. Or not every other game, but I have multiple memories of that happening. Colleen doing work, 3 for 3. Shoots still has a bunch of champions, though. And Audric for the value. I guess Audric is very good in this matchup. A nice gate also to prevent the flank from Audric. Or the flanking. Also, if Audric gets a 3 for 3 here, or even a 2 for 3, Sarah has to play. Oh, that's unfortunate. The reason why is because without Spring, usually the max you can get is 4 range dice uh, as trees. So Sarah can still probably play a little bit aggressive until they have um, at least 2 more damage on them. All right. Protecting the gate spot, pushing with Colleen. The Sarah. Interesting to have Sarah in that position. I yeah, I don't know why. Yep. Stag Rider. Gonna do some work. Audric at 5. My God. Yeah, this is not looking good for the Vanguards. Nice play. So Airstone at 8. I'm assuming they're going for that god awful champion Vanguards have, which some like very situationally can work. Interesting attack order. I guess they're trying to just go for the pure value. Okay. Oh, tree for the win! Tree for the win! And especially if shoots as autumn, just Sarah's done, even if they whiff. All right, GG's. Um, so far, none of these games have made me think that tree good. I just, yeah, I think it's more just game variation. But nothing of like this is like, oh, some new tree tech. I guess a lot of Audric, which shoots plays. But we'll keep going. Tree's obsolescence on the ropes here. Vanguard small, true. All right, let's see this. I could see for Wayfair as this being a hard matchup, just again, based off how much HP Nimbit has, but also because Nimbit is immobile, it might be easy. So this matchup, I have no idea how it's supposed to go. All right, hoping for the 2 for 2 whiff. Hmm. I guess an interesting aspect of this matchup is that so normally against Wayfarers you want to reduce, especially for late game, uh, you want to reduce the amount of Seek Horizons they're able to use, or active like units they're able to get back through see through the horizon. True. If Celeste miss, tree wins. Um, but especially with the Grove, you really don't need much of your gates. So you can just use those purely on blocking Seek the Horizons and preventing the value of or the late game of Wayfarers. Okay, interesting that Nimid decides to move in front of the Wayfarer gate. Hmm. This could also be one of those matchups where whoever goes first is just very favored. I could see that also. I could see that being just less going off. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. I would assume, especially with tournament buffs, that that matchup would be um, Vanguard favored, just because Vanguards love the late game, especially if you can't threaten too much damage on Sarah. All right, Baldo, the early Baldo. What do you do with Baldo here? So I guess in good news for Ron Wild, they already used one uproot, so most likely they don't have the second one in the top half of their deck. Interesting that Ron is going for protecting Celeste uh, so heavily. I feel like damage on my summoner against tree, I'm not too worried about it, just because their assassination is not the best, or their assassination cards. I see what you're saying. That's a great point, Takulu. Uh, Moving in front of the gate just so that there's less lanes, or there's less lanes for range dice, especially from yeah, Celeste. Hmm. You mean who do you mean? Which faction do you mean as being? You mean as the trees or as Wayfarers? Celeste econ game. Yep, yep. No, Wayfarers are underrated in terms of econ. Their econ can be really good. I've been or I've been close. Yeah, I've been multiple times cloaks. I think with as Wayfarers just um, by going econ. If their dice are going, you can definitely or if you have reasonable dice, you can definitely do econ versus a lot of factions as Wayfarers. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I like this positioning. You can't uproot champions. That'd be amazing if you could, but you can't. And Niven's kind of stuck here. I kind of like this idea by Astro. He's probably gonna get punished by this, but at the same time, this is a cool idea. Just parking your summoner in front of Nimid and just going back and forth, especially if you can get 7 dice like Celeste can. Poor Astro got punished hard for that though, especially with Spring. Spring is so good. All right, let's see. How does Astro get out of this? I can see the idea here. This gate is actually pretty uh, fun, also. Just surrounding Nimue with gates. It's a very cool idea. Yeah, rough hit. All right, gets the Adventure, gets the Spirit Voyager, and what's the last one? Ooh, missed it. But those are the two cards I'd assume is always done. And then the last one's usually either a Rogue or it usually matters on your Magic. Rogues, because Rogues are 0 Magic versus forgot the name of the other one. Can cost some Magic. Oh no, poor Baldo. Oh, Baldo lives another day. Now, how the hell does Astro get out of the situation? If he does. Or he just lost. Maybe one or the other. Yep, yep. Pure skill. So I guess in good news, I'm assuming this is what uh, Ron's going to do, is just get as many dice as possible. Oh, sorry. On Nibid. Go down to 9. That's a problem with Tree, I guess, is that he just has so much health. Hey, allies. Uh, yeah, Baldo's just dancing around the tree. Yeah, until Ben comes back, or if Ben's able to come back. I feel like it's always fun watching Ben streams, watching tournament games, and look, I'm gonna do this mostly for fun. I don't really, but when I have the urge, I definitely will try to stream some tournament games, whatever there are. Hmm. All right. Is there a potential kill here on Nimid? 10 health. Interesting. Okay, so Ron is technically ahead on cards, but the board state is just atrocious for him at this point. Uh, with the right hand, I guess you could go for a kill on Nimid, but doesn't seem like Astro has that right now. I do like these gates surrounding Nimid. It's a very clever idea by Astro, just reducing the number of summer spots, as well as yeah, just making life hard for Nimid. Running wild. Yeah, sorry, I think I'm saying run wild instead of running wild. All right, we get the big, or the, what do we call seasons? Mid tree? Because Nimid's big tree, so seasons must be, it's either, no, it's not small tree. Small tree is definitely the saplings. Middle tree, something like that. All right. Does Astro, yeah, just looking very dire right now for, so yeah, especially with Autumn play. You are not happy right now as Celeste, especially with this seasons with 3 boost on it. It's looking like GG's. Hmm. I guess if Nimid doesn't have another Autumn coming up. Alright, they needed the 5 for 5, or 5 for 6. But still, it'll just be hard. Yeah, I guess if Astro's able to hit the 5 for 6, there's a chance. Especially with these 2 gates. I love these gates. So fun. Because then, yeah, without another Autumn, Nibu would have a hard time. Oh, actually, no, I'm completely wrong. I'm a tree noob. You could just seed bearer and then place a gate there. I'm stupid. Nice play by Psych. And now these 2 gates look terrible. They're protecting Nimid. Yeah, yeah. He can have the four gates around on Nimid. That'd be hilarious. I guess you have the 1 unit, or outside of, I guess, mutants, or outside of, yeah, which can attack sideways. So you need to keep this rogue alive. Oh no, another gate. So technically, Psych could have went for the complete tree wall or surround. Oh, whiff. The whiff. Yeah, because if Celeste was able to um, kill the gate, there's a potential next turn where Celeste can go for a very low chance, but still a kill shot on Nimid. Physic. Physic. I'm terrible with pronunciations. Pronunciations. Oh no, now Celestial. This is not looking good at all for running. Fish. Fisk, fish. All right. Well, there is a shot here. Is there actually? No, because you need another unit. You need 3. Not looking good. I think the other funny thing which is happening here is Nimid, I think, has attacked his gate 3 or 4 times and has a 5 health gate and has not been able to do it with 4 swords. Yeah, no, I think if there was a kill shot there, if running was able to kill the gate behind Nimid, or in front of Nimid. Oh, both, yeah. All right, we have a late game. Nimid is able to move now. Hmm. Yeah, especially with seasons. This looks very hopeless. Yes, Splish. I'm curious whether this is a matchup which like heavily depends who goes first. Like for example, Law Savannah L's matchups in not in tournaments but in live are dependent on that. Are you able to move your Tiger and get boost on it before it dies? Same thing with Frogs, where they really like going first also. Um, yeah, and then notoriously against Wayfarers, you love going first just because you can prevent them from going from your side of the board, preventing Celeste from getting extra dice. The whiff. Oh, the whiff into the whiff. Running wild. Not doing so hot. But they do have the slip by. They have the coordinate. Potentially, there's a kill attempt at least. Interesting that you're not going for the. I'm assuming the stag rider is gonna go to the side though. That's a good question, Tortugatron. I mean, I feel like a lot of times, personally, I like going second, just because then I don't need to like figure out an opening. uh, oh, going for the 6 for 6. I'll continue my thought after this. Let's see it. Let's see it. What happens? Let's see it. Goes for it. Oh no. All right, GG's. GG's. Um, and then with some hands, you like 3 magic a lot to start out with. And also, if your opponent whiffs, you love going second, right? Like if you have a perfect board state, no damage on your units, and you start with 3 magic, feels amazing. So I feel like that's the one of the advantages of a dice game for damage is that going second, like in Magic, I think you always want to go first, right? I haven't played Magic in a couple years. Um, so having like the dice variability makes going second not always the worst. Uh, poor running wild. Wishes he was cloaks right now. Needs a bandit or a Simpson. Yeah, that's a good point, Splish. Avians do have a very spread out board, so it's very hard to get rid of both of their units turn one. Yeah, because the worst feeling is going second and realizing like your gate is surrounded as well as both of your starting units are dead. Like, what do you do in that situation? Alrighty, GG's. Great game by both players. Um, all right. Ideally, I'd blind myself. Uh, CH versus Phoenix Elves. CH versus Sand Goblins. We can watch the reverse, I guess, of what we saw before. Um, let's see. Yeah, Shoots is doing really well with the trees. I already watched the game with allies, but if people want to watch that, I'm happy to. It's a great game by both players. Um, CH losing to Polar Dwarves, interesting. Lime season also be doing great with yeah, they got both wins against Polar Dwarves and Sand Goblins. Actually, I could see Tree being good at, or hmm, interesting. Maybe you just surround the tree with like pushes and stuff. Who knows? Yeah, true. My next my next plat hat, I'll choose high elves and trees, and I'm not sure any other combinations of my letters. True. Maybe that's why I did so poorly this tournament. I need to, or not poorly, but not as well as I wanted to. It's because I didn't choose factions which my initials are in. Yeah, high elves are a super hard faction, and I feel it's definitely. I don't play them, but I feel like it is a faction where if you are out of practice, it's probably you have to play a couple of games to get back into practice. Also, very matchup dependent. Though I do think I agree with Profit where I do think they're S tier, but they just take a lot of practice to get good at. Um, all right, let's watch these two games and then maybe we move on from trees. I would watch some. Maybe we watch some round one games with trees. We'll see. It's Hergrada. It's good. It's the world trying to tell me to focus on my thesis. I can't I can't spend more weeks playing Summoner Wars. That's how I'll cope about it. That's how I'll cope about it. World is telling me to start writing. Uh, Splish, you should watch. I posted the VOD, but there was a funny. We were casting a High Elves game. Me, Prophet, and Philitician, I think his uh, name is in Discord. And Prophet was just hating on Titus the entire time, but me and Phil in chat were all rooting for Titus. So I agree with you. Titus is needs more love. Yeah, we can watch my games. I'm happy to go through my games and critique them. What I could have done better. Yeah, there needs to be some Jacob fanfic. I love I love Summoner Wars fanfic. It's great. So this is interesting because we just watched a couple minutes ago a loss for trees. Or sorry, a win for trees against sand goblins, and it really seemed like sand goblins had trouble um, dealing damage to Nimid, and basically spent a lot of resources trying to get that, but then just lost late game just to using so many resources to try to damage Nimid. So we'll see how Massimo plays it. We can watch my losses. Happy to go through my losses. All right, I'll be right back. All right. Are you trying to get information on me, Tortugatron, so you can clean sweep live league next week? That'll be a fun match. I think Savannah Elves versus Frogs. Or sorry, you're playing Cloaks versus Frogs. That should be interesting. Especially after the nerf to Frogs. I'm assuming, off the top of my head, I don't think there's a faction which is too favored. Maybe Cloaks because they're really good, but I feel like Frogs should have a shot. Just get used to losing. All right, all right. Is a full value. What? An uproot on a biter? DQI? I guess it's not just for the biter, it's also to get on the rider. I feel like with sand goblins is always this like you don't necessarily want to be on their side of the board just because they can summon anywhere on their side of the board. Interesting. I mean, I don't think it's bad. It's just it's an interesting idea by DQI. Huh. Crust got 4. I guess as Massimo, do you just go all in on a Nimid, or you try to get value? You're up like a bunch of cards, and they did a good job leveraging Crust's health. I'm assuming, based off this play, they must have a thruster. Wait, no thruster. What? Ooh, the 0 for 2. Oh, I mean, Tortugatron, I think if you beat me, you would clean sweep the. You could say you were. I'm not sure if anyone's done that yet. Clean sweep the Division 1 for Live League. But yeah, it definitely does affect. If I lose, I think I go to Division 3, which would be fun. I like how that works. Just like if you are last place, you just go down 2 ranks. I think if I had to do that during, I'm happy they don't do that during the league games because I'm not sure how I would feel about that. Just during Massimo's league, having to go down 2 divisions if you lose Div 1 or if you're Div 2, uh, going down to Div 4, just because it takes so long to get up. Huh. Oh, okay, interesting. True, because I lost to Nestle would be the only one to stay with you in Div 1 because he went 3-1. All right, if I'm Sand Goblins right now, I am just trying to clear things out and get damage on Krusk. Uh, is there a chance Massimo? I mean, Massimo's dead next turn unless. Yeah, that makes sense. And they should know that because of seasons. Now, why are they putting the thruster on the gate? There's always an argument with Sand Goblins. Do you put it on the gate or Krusk if you are low health on Krusk? And it really matters the faction you're facing against. But I'm guessing Massimo, because the gate is still at 10 health, doesn't mind putting it on that. Also, Massimo's not really been putting wrenches on the gate too much. Oh, look at this biter! I love biter detonate plays. So good. But the best feeling by far is biter with wrenches, which you use what's that? A motor on. You can get so much damage. Hmm. All right. So what's my gameplay right now? Is both factions. I feel like as Nimid, especially against this much of a card difference and this much of a match. So Massimo loves every time I play him, he loves having high magic, which makes sense. Where high magic means you can do more plays, and Massimo is really good at making sure his last hand or his last few hands are just really good cards in general. Um, yeah, uh, between the themes between sand goblins and trees are very high, are very different. Ooh, big hit. Otherwise, Krusk would probably be down to 2, which would not be the best. I feel like with 4, of course, you're sweating a little bit, but you're still like 4 versus trees is not 4 versus like most other factions in the game. Like if I'm at 4, even with against let's say like fungal dwarves, I'm still more scared than I am against trees. Okay, getting more damage on seasons. All right, it's looking very scary for sand goblins here. But I guess to sand goblins haven't used any champions yet. They're at 7 magic. Um, so we'll see. All right, just very solid play by Massimo. These gates are so funny, actually. The L-shaped gates. Also, it's very rare usually to see Sand Goblins use all three of their 5 health gates. Ooh, the whiff. Yeah, DQI played this well after, I think initially I thought that he was way far behind just due to the amount of cards, but 8 health seasons. What do you do as Sand Goblins? You just try to all in it one turn, or do you ignore it? This is actually double gates actually helping. That's so funny, actually. This gate, these gates. I guess it's stalling a little bit. Oh, interesting autumn. Would I have done that? No, I think I don't really care too much. Especially because. So when do you become movable, I guess? I see. Okay, so I'm wrong. Because as soon as you run out of 0 cards, then you become movable. Okay, so interesting. So you become movable technically on your opponent's turn. Buff trees, that should be on your turn. All right. Massimo going for a big Uncle Sparks. Hmm. I guess the advantage, especially if you get your thrusters up, the advantage Cave Goblin, or sorry, not Cave Goblin, Sand Goblins has over Tree is that just the mobility difference. Like double thruster against Tree must be so hard to deal with. Oh, the 2! I'd be raging if I was DQI. That was a big whiff. What was that? 2 for 6? That's nuts. That's actually that's actually so big. Because this gate should be Massimo should be forced to detonate this gate next turn, but because of that giant whiff, maybe that's the reason why Sand Goblins won. That's massive. Yeah, trying to. This is very common when, especially when Krusk is low. Try to put all the upgrades on Sparks. That way, Sparks can basically just act as Krusk. Sand Goblins is such a good deck. I think it's my favorite deck by far in terms of uh, playing and design. Oh, the 2 for 2. All right, I'm raging hard if I'm DQI right now. But of course, great play by Massimo to even enable that. But that the last 2 rounds have just been so unfortunate. Like this gate should be like almost dead. What? What happened there? Oh, did I skip? All right, we can just see the game positions. They go down to 2 cards, but it's 2 cards plus slits and a scavenger and sparks. Yeah, this game's over. My fault, guys. Must have clicked something. I think Seasons dying that way, um, and Seasons not being able to destroy the Mega Gate definitely made this game a lot more one-sided in the end game than it should have been. But yeah, great play by both players. Okay, here's where we were. We don't need to watch it all, but hmm. Yep, tragic. Very tragic. So at this stage, you have Aldrich. I guess Aldrich's going to be on spiders. Audric. Audric. All right. This game's over. We will go on to the last tree game, and then I might make some food, or we just watch all my losses like Tutugatron recommended, so that he can have one up on me. What factions should we watch in general after that? Definitely, yeah, Chosen Grove games I love. I might watch some Div 1 Chosen Grove games, but they do take a while to go through. Are there any other interesting factions in terms of win rate? Breakers make sense. Cave Goblins make sense. I'm assuming actually Breakers win rate's probably even lower than that if just you had a random person play them, because usually people who pick Breakers are people who are already good at Breakers or very comfortable with them. Frogs, actually I wouldn't think they'd be that low. Crimson Order makes sense just because um, they're the most played by far in every, so people have just a lot of experience versus them, and also they're kind of predictable a lot of times. uh, Eternal Council. um, Say Goblins being high makes sense. High Elves having a comeback I think is pretty nuts actually, because if we look at the last tournament, I think they actually were below 50%. And that could be very much due to the dominance of frogs. But let me make sure I'm not making stuff up. Yeah, 48% last tournament. Um, be curious if that's just an anomaly or whether it's just due to frogs being so dominant back then, before the nerf. Uh, Sand Goblins games might be interesting for me to watch. OD being 34% is pretty funny, actually. Mount Vargath, balance in all things 49-49. I'm happy I lost my Mountain Vargath game just for the statistics that they're perfectly balanced. Um, Polar Door is being low. Interesting. Fae being so low. Buff Fae, please. They have such a cool concept, but they just never uh, got it. Sky Spear Avians being 45% is actually interesting to me. Maybe because just a lot of players are playing them. I'd assume there'd be more like, I feel like Mountain Vargath and Avians are about the same in terms of power level for me, where I'd say they both should be going 50-50. It could also just be, look, it's very low sample size, so who knows. Swamp Orcs always do very well. Swamp Orcs are such a funny faction in terms of, in ladder they do terribly, but in competitive they do well. And I think it's mostly due to probably in ladder, a lot of new players are picking them up, and Swamp Orcs does take a little bit of practice before you get good at them. Wayfarers being 62% is actually nuts to me. The highest win rate. And I think that's very much meta dependent in terms of which decks are being chosen. Because Wayfarers have not gotten buffed or nerfed forever. And starting last tournament, because let's look at actually win rates. That's something which is interesting. So they're 62% right now. So probably, I'm assuming they'll probably go to like high 50s by the end of the last round, if I had to guess. They were 58% last tournament. But if we look before that, so if we go to Crimson Order, Martin Vargath release, which was before that, they were down at 40%, right? And this is something which is pretty sure, I'm pretty sure this is consistent between the terms before the Frogs release. Wayfarer is 46%, and then we can go even. Oh, I'm skipping some tournaments. But anyways, Wayfarers were not released. Or no one played them. Wayfarers is at 30% right now. Takulu. So even back here, see, Wayfarers at 41. So we have like 3 tournaments in a row where Wayfarers are below 50%. And then all of a sudden, starting earlier last year, they go above 50%, like not even just above 50%, high 50s, you know. And here they're 48%, and then this tournament they're at 62%. And I think, look, nothing's changed with the deck. I think it's purely just due to which decks are popular and which decks people are bringing. Because starting with Frogs, one of their main weaknesses was aggro, and Wayfarer is one of the aggro decks. Um, as well as, and I'm not an expert on this. You guys can tell me in chat. I feel like Crimson Orator probably doesn't have the best matchup versus Wayfarers in general. Yeah, yeah. Wayfarers are amazing against against Storm Goblins. Um, that's one of the reasons I didn't bring a Storm Goblins to Div 1. Just Div 1 is like the death of Storm Goblins in Live League. It's literally, or it used to be, Savannah Elves, uh, Shadow Elves, Tundra Orcs, and Wayfarers, like in a bracket uh, as Storm Goblins. And so I tried it. I got like 4-0'd or 0-4'd, sorry. And then Shoots tried it, and I think he also got 0-4'd. So just Storm Goblins, very fun deck. I think one of the best archetypes they made, but um, very matchup dependent. Where some matchups you just win, like against Fungal Dwarves, but other matchups, Tundra Orcs, Wayfarers, you just lose. I've never seen I guess because I don't see enough Fae players, but I could see Fae being very good against Storm Goblins. Um, okay. Oh, sorry. This is Division B. Division A. All right. Let's watch. This is a long game. All right. We'll watch one more tree game. I'll be also making some pasta during this, so I'll be MIA, and then afterwards we can switch to another faction, or we can go through my losses um, and go from there. Hey, Eden. Yes, that's an interesting matchup. Is Storm Goblins versus Tree. I've played that once and I won, and it feels like one of those matchups that Storm Goblins should lose. But the fact that just based off the nature of Tree, you're always going to have a very easy chain. It seems like Storm Goblins might actually be favored. It would be a great. I'd love to see it as a league matchup though, um, as I think it could be a 50-50 matchup, or a very one-sided matchup. Not sure which one yet. All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna make some pasta. All right. Oops, sorry. You guys are just stuck on the screen. Oh, it's actually an option? Interesting. I didn't know that. All right, let's pause this and see if I can change that. Because yeah, even during tournaments. Alrighty. Uh, so I didn't watch the first couple turns here, but it looks like the Polar Dwarves are doing very well. If I had to think about this matchup, who do I think wins? Again, I think this would be an amazing league matchup. Um, I think initially I said I thought that. Oh, interesting. You don't go for the hit on the Frost Mage. I guess you're afraid of Aldrich. I feel like Aldrich's one of those champions where you're not afraid of taking damage as long as it doesn't die. Because at worst case, you just put it in the back row. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm no expert on tree. Hmm. 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry. I should be back until my water boils. Um. So what's happening here? I guess and I'd have to ask Shoots or Lime or someone else who feels very comfortable with Tree. Uh, you always kind of want to be because you want to run. It's like this weird mix where you want to run through your deck quickly so that Nimid can be uh, way more potent. Where, look, if you have moving Uproot, if you have moving Autumn, it's just so much better than having to be stationary. Um, so you have this weird mix where you want to be kind of ahead on board state, but at the same time burning through your hand very quickly, or not burning through your hand, sorry, burning through your deck very quickly. Um, and so if you're unable to do that, if you're unable to be ahead on board state, um, it might get very tricky for you. I'm too impatient to play tree. Yeah, I completely understand. Tree is like that relaxing faction you play. Uh, okay, I need to ban someone. Uh, yeah, but Tree is one of those factions. I always say that during tournaments. I made the mistake my first Plat Hat tournament of choosing Sand Goblins, Shadow Elves, Cloaks, and another complex faction. I forgot which. And my brain was just dead every day. And so after that, I always try to choose like two more complicated factions and two, you know, I can sort of autopilot factions. And so I usually choose. Uh, I usually choose Mountain Vargath and who did I choose? I had Swamp Orcs, Sand Goblins. Oh, Mountain Garland. This time I chose Storm Goblins, or otherwise I would choose Avians as my faction where I don't need to think too. Like, of course they can be tricky, and you do have a few turns which are tricky, but most of the time, you know, within a minute or two, I can think of a good move. Versus like when you deal with like more complicated factions, it just takes way too long. So going back to it, to your point, Jexic, I feel like Tree is definitely a faction where you can sort of sit back and chill a lot of turns. But who knows? You know, maybe it's a very complicated faction. I just don't know. Hmm. I do see Audric is probably amazing in this matchup against Polar Dwarves. It's interesting. I was thinking about this the other day, Eden. It's interesting once you once you get over the basics of Summoner Wars and you're comfortable. Um, it's interesting just how much playstyle affects how someone does with a deck. Um, like you said, Sir Handsome, Jexic, maybe because Sir Handsome is more of a he was he's a his first love was Tundra Orcs and then the second love was OD. Even when he plays Shadow Elves, he has that aggro gene in him. He's gonna play. When you play his Shadow Elves, he's gonna play a little more aggro than, for example, another player like a Massimo or a Vexer. Um, it's always so funny. Yeah, I'll look for that option afterwards. I think once the game's over, I can try to adjust that. I didn't realize there was an auto event dismiss. Like when I play like G Man, that's a great example. Like I know he's gonna be aggro. Like G Man does not play back, and so I have to kind of adjust how I play him. And it's also probably why, like a great example is like I would play Bean and Ben a lot, um, and it was always like a triangle where Bean would beat Ben, I would beat Bean, and Ben would beat me, just because of play styles. And just Ben was a very, if you've watched him play, uh, he's a very he loves discarding and he loves playing for the late game, or not really for late game. He loves playing for tempo, I guess is the best way of putting it. Versus Bean is more aggro player, um, and I would say I'm more of like I try to go for value trades um, more than anything else. And it's funny how those three play styles sort of match up with each other. Nine magic turn three, a shadow elves. Maybe he got that from Massimo. I noticed Massimo does that a lot also. Sorry, I'm making some pasta. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't realize it was paused. Yeah, I think glinting is a very common discard usually for shadow elves, unless you can use the turn, which you get it. And the reason why is like Takulu says, you can always get it back with your event. Because I think the shadow elves commons in general are just really good, like Shadow Mage, uh, Seer. All those are just really good. Cooking in Summoner Wars. That's a good stream title, Hergrata. I should do that next time. Also, let me mod you so that in case I'm gone and someone tries to do stupid links. Modded! Hergrata, the first mod! Anyone who wants to be modded can be modded. I don't care too much. Yeah, that's a great point to Kulu. Do not mod you? Okay, I'll take away your mod. I'll mod Eden or Jexic. You keep your mod, Hergrata. I'm not giving you the option. Damn, Tree's having a comeback with a Seasons Tree. I guess this is what I've been learning from these all these wins with Tree is that if you can have like 8 HP seasons or above 6 HP seasons, if you have Nimbit above 10 health, like you can do some crazy things. Yep, yep. Oop. Oh, no! I spoiled! I spoiled! I did it again! No one saw that. No one saw that. Where were we? Where were we? Where were we? No! Okay, we'll play from this point. All right, seasons. Give me a few minutes. I'll take you to ban everyone in chat. Yeah, Tukulu. Tree late game is so crazy. It's actually nuts. Especially if you have both uproots, it's nuts. Like, I'm curious, once we have more games, like, how much card value on average Nimbit uprooted is worth, like, compared to another summoner. Like, look at this. Literally move. Oh, so good. Deal 5 damage instantly. The one card which I have no idea, but it makes sense thematically how good it is Ursa. Like, this card seems like amazing and terrible at the same time. Yeah, usually getting 2 uproots is nuts. But it can happen if the opponent is, playing very passive. Like, it's one of those things that's like, and this is something I don't know, because I'm not, like I said, I don't play Tree that much. Like, is it worth against a passive faction who's not going to try to hit Nimid that much to save both uproots, even though it's clogging your hand, or do you discard one at that point? The beast does not slumber. Oh, the beast does slumber. Sorry. I feel like those probably hard to. If you're Grove, if you can save a what are they called? If you can save a seed bearer late game, you probably can get so much value off that. Just like getting more and more boost. Ooh, the seasons. Oh, the whiff. The 2-for-2 whiff. Tragic. Tragic. Um, I've been discarding bear more recently. With bear, you absolutely have to return it to your hand, otherwise it's too expensive. Um, yeah, I could see that. Just having to cast that 4 magic twice is yeah, it can be devastating. Because also like with a tree, your comms are so good in general, just like baseline that you don't care. Okay, so it looks like that makes sense. Did they whiff or did they just give up? Did they time out? So there was a bear. I guess Slimin uh, didn't see the point of playing more. They either timed out or they just realized getting 12 damage on Nimid with 4 cards as Polar Dwarves is really hard. Like you could potentially, especially this bear's only getting attacked once. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, no, I agree. Very good game by both players. Tukulu. But yeah, it just shows you the importance. That's why I thought that this game would be this matchup would be favored towards Tree, is just because I think Polar Dwarves has a hard time getting any damage on Nimid. Probably if you can do decently with Nimid and not get too much, get good trades off late game, you're gonna do so much work. Hmm. Great point. Yeah, I guess that's another good point. To Kulu is that with the 20 health summoner, you're not too afraid of taking inactivity damage, and also um, like you said, in this case, Lime was able to summon all three champions versus uh, Polar Dwarves, which are usually a more, it's harder to get magic off Polar Dwarves just because their commons are so tanky in general. Yeah, Sapling Aldrich into early, yeah, CH early endgame. Great points, great points. All right, all right. Let's think. What faction do I want to see next? Or do I just want to critique my own games? I think I critique my own games once I have some pasta, so that I can be, of course, more partial. uh, I think right now, let's just watch a really good game, and then between two players who are in the top two. So let's watch whatever game Syke and Aaron played. Aaron is the funniest player ever. Sometimes I play Aaron, and I'm like, this guy is the best player on the planet by far. And then other times I play Aaron, and I'm like, Aaron, what are you doing? I'm curious if it has to do with his work schedule. But Aaron's like consistency is so funny. Like every time I play like OL or every time I play, like Vexer or Prophet, they're always like amazing. Aaron like is either, like I said, the best player I've ever played ever, or just like, very good, but nothing crazy. Um, and who knows why. Uh, oh, is it CG versus SO? Is that the matchup? Let's see. Psych versus Aaron. Oh yeah, yeah. We're not watching that. We're definitely not watching that. You're completely right. That's a very one-sided game. Um, let's watch. Yeah, let's watch Aaron versus Run Wild. To be fair, there's a lot of players like that. Like I know Davude's the same way, where Davude is like incredible, and then other times he might just get busy or maybe he doesn't have enough practice. Um, Look, it's a game for fun at the end of the day. I'm not trying to flame anyone. Real life is definitely way more worth it than Summoner Wars. Um, okay, let's watch this game then. This should be an interesting matchup. Two amazing players going at it, and then I can make my pasta in the meantime. Oh wait. Let me do what Takulu said. Oop. Let me do auto event. Sorry guys. Do. Gonna spoil it quickly just so that you guys don't need to deal with auto dismiss events. Okay, that's what you were talking about, Takulu. Okay, let's see how this game goes though. Cool. Be right back. All right, guys. There's a big This has nothing to do with Summoner Wars. This has more to do with pasta sauce. So my girlfriend is very into uh, Rio's or Rao's, and says it's the best store-bought pasta sauce. But I saw on a YouTube video that Muti pasta sauce is better. So this will be the deciding day. Which one's better? I don't claim to be an expert on pasta sauce, but for myself, I'll let you guys know. Not the meat sauce, just the regular marinara. Yeah, Eternal Council I feel like is a great. I feel like if you were to look at win rate uh, in live league versus 3 day, I think Eternal Council's win rate would increase just because the rate of backtracking is just a lot lower in live league, just because 45-minute games you have a time pressure also. Um, but I know that 1 season ago or 2 seasons ago, Eternal Council was the most winning faction, so it's definitely really good in a 45-minute time frame. Oop, was it bugged again? All right, all right. I haven't seen anything so far. And Cantor seems actually really good in this matchup. So Ben, this was like, I'm not sure if this would work anymore, but when Filth first got released, I was playing Ben, who was a dirty, dirty playtester, so he already knew these factions, and he would use Incantor Mutant on me all the time, and do so well with it. And I thought Incantor Mutant by far the best mutant. Um, but as time's gone on, I feel like Incantor Mutant is probably the least played mutant by most people. Oh, this is a sick play by Ron. Is it? Do you go up or down? I think you go down. Oh, interesting. You go up. Okay, I see. That makes sense. I actually did not know that Horrify. Someone pointed this out recently that Horrify only works on does not work on champions, which I didn't realize. Does Aaron get the 4 for 5? Ooh, gets it. See, as a very unbiased Summoner Wars player, that would never happen to me, right? You know, I'd get the 2 for 3 or 2 for 5. Just kidding, just kidding. Yeah, I could see definitely Encanter being good in this matchup, though. Hmm. All right, trying to get that value. I feel like if I had to come up with a game plan for this matchup, I would definitely want to. At some point, you need Abomination, uh, and the sooner the better. I feel like. Do we get another Horrify, or are we just getting hit in the face for a lot of damage? Okay. Be right back.
Hello?
Hello. How are you?
Pretty
Who's
good. Can people just join this?
yeah, anyone can join. What's up, Astro?
Yeah,
Long time no talk. You doing okay?
yeah. No, not too bad. Not too bad. I got some spare time. Saw that you were on. I was like, ooh, you can hop in.
By the way, people can hear you on Discord if that's fine.
Oh, I'm so sorry for them. My apologies
No, no,
to
no, 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 no,
everybody.
no. It's good. We're
But I'm
watching
always
your game
excited
right
for
now.
it.
So,
Oh God. Oh no. Which one?
the one against Aaron. The
Oh, bleh.
you
You
watch
can't
the
even watch my good ones.
maybe afterwards. We first have to watch my bad ones, and then we can watch your good ones.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's going to be a long night.
Yep, yep, yep.
All right. My stream's a little slow to load up, so
Well, I can let me stream it to you on Discord. That's probably the easiest. That
oh,
way we're on the same
okay.
page.
I am
Share.
very tech savvy, so I will know how this works.
Okay.
Oh, I heard a thing.
All right. I'm a noob. I didn't buy any Parmesan cheese for my pasta.
Rookie mistake. You gotta have to make sure you've got that good Italian Parmigiano,
True.
preferably picked up right from Italy.
Shipped in.
Yeah.
What's up,
All right, looks like
erotic?
the stream's up. Nobody else joined the voice chat, just us. That's fun.
Yeah, no, anyone can join us, but I think a lot of people just like they're busy. Like Ben would have that sometimes where he would invite me, but I'm like I'm just doing other things, especially on
Mm.
a holiday in the U.S. You got to get those chores done. Oh, one for and then a three for three. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean I can't complain too much about this game because there's some wild whiffs on both sides, but oh,
This
I
is
shouldn't say
interesting.
anything. It's spoiler.
So, what were your thoughts like when you were thinking about this matchup? What were you thinking? The idea was.
Oh, my first thought was, good God, not another Crimson Order game. I, I don't want to like complain about Joe's pool organization, but I feel
Another
like I went
rematch.
through several Crimson Order games. It's just like I do not want to do another one. I haven't played this matchup, but when I hello
Yeah,
Beast,
what's good, Astra?
It's a beast.
how's it
What's good?
going?
What's good? Good,
Um,
good.
yeah, no, I haven't played this matchup, so it's just kind of like I don't know how it goes. I think it favors Crimson Order because you just burn through this so fast, and like the general advice of going against them is to slow down and play all your stuff. Well, it's hard to play your stuff because it blows up when you mutate it. So I was just kind of like, if I can get as many cultists out and mutate them, then it'll be hard for him to convert. And then I just want to slam Abomination down as soon as possible and try to wreak havoc with that.
That makes sense.
But Beast might know something. He's insightful.
No, it's always hard playing against Crimson Order, especially against Aaron, who does not want to discard and is vehement about not
Yeah.
discarding.
True.
Yeah,
Aaron.
so
Do you guys
Aaron
have the
hates
same opinion? I was talking earlier that I played Aaron a few times, and like Aaron always surprises me, where he's always like either the best player I've ever played against, or like he's very good, but not nowhere near his level. Sometimes, like it's just random. I'm not sure it's faction dependent or whether he's just busy sometimes. Um,
Uh, the last time I played Aaron, I think it was against his fungal dwarf, so he's definitely on that unapproachable, unbeatable level
oh
where it's
yeah,
just
he's
like,
really good
there's
at
nothing I can do here.
that.
um, but yeah, no, he's pretty good,
Aaron's
pretty
really good, yeah.
good.
This is scary to look at right here, Astro.
Oh yeah. Though, if you notice, I'm up to that magic 7 number, which should,
I
you know, get filth opponents a little concerned.
was actually saying earlier in chat, Astro, there was a fateful turn here as Filth, where you positioned off to the side of the Crimson Order's main gate just to drop that gate down and risking a hit to your face. I don't know if you remember. Just to
Trying
drop that forward gate down,
Oh,
basically.
in front of the 10 health gate?
Yeah, yeah.
Y-
And
Yeah.
you had backup beside you, but that was a very decisive turn, I think,
Oh,
or a
yeah. Like
deciding turn.
one of the things Crimson Order hates is having like stuff in front of their gate because you don't really want to be wasting warrior attacks to clear a 5 health gate because you're just losing health on Baron for
Mhm.
not really good value. And it's a
Mm.
threat because you can just summon off it and start attacking the back line. So I did kind of prioritize getting something there as soon as
Gotcha.
possible to apply the
Mhm.
pressure.
Mhm.
And that gate sits there for like it sat there for a while. I don't. It's hard to talk about this without spoiling anything. So, but yeah, when I was doing my sprint of learning CO, I had that gate spot occupied a lot, and was like, "Ooh, this sucks." So, I try to do it to my opponents whenever I can.
That's a cool explanation.
Good positioning.
Yeah, and then I just like to. I love the filth. I was a filthy filth player in 1E, so I was over the moon that they came back, and they came back with essentially the same mechanics. I might have been a
Mhm.
little pessimistic in the Discord before their release because I did not think that they would be able to hit the same field because they were very against adding extra rules cards, and with like
Mm.
your language allotment on them, I didn't think the mutate would return. So I'm very excited that they turned out how they did.
Mm.
I've never seen a 6 damage Daymar. That's nuts.
I know. I told you
Yeah,
guys it's gonna be a priest couch here for Aaron in the back.
yeah, it is tough to get in there.
Yeah. Especially because they can do a decent amount of damage, especially if they have warriors to
Yeah.
A-bomb.
Those damn warriors. So yeah, if I had my choice, this isn't the matchup I'd do against Crimson Order, but you know,
Mm.
not my choice.
Yeah, I don't play either faction, so I don't know how this would feel.
Yeah, I think with Crimson Order, you generally want to look at like units with 3 or 5 health because it puts their warriors into awkward positions. Either you have to spend the
Mm.
health in order to go for the 3-1. So if you've got some way of getting 3 health on one magic, you're getting a good
Mm.
economic trade there. And then 5, like a warrior can't one-shot it, so you will definitely be getting your value on them. So with the
Mhm.
mutations, you can sort of work your way up there, but you do have to get kills. Now they do drop a lot of cultists, so you're able to generally eat them up and keep it going. But then you also want to save up for Abomination. So it was a little tricky going in. I think there was a couple of times when I was getting close to Abomination, but then I wanted to drop the mutants down and keep threatening the board.
Mm.
And normally I like to be a little more forward with Demagogue in the opponent's face, but you don't want to get surrounded with Royal Warriors.
That's
Yeah,
also true.
true.
So at this point where you, I feel like I'd still feel comfortable as, um,
So at this point, because he had blocked his summon spot, I was feeling the worst feeling I ever have is when I'm starting to feel comfortable. Like if I'm thinking a game's going well, it rapidly goes against me. So I unfortunately was feeling, oh, he blocked up his summon spot with that Doom Cultist. I'm going to be able to get up there with Abomination. He won't be able to get a Royal Warrior on it, and I can just keep farming with the Bestial Mutant and healing it if he's doing chip damage. So I thought this was my time to like shimmy up. I knew his transfuses hadn't come out, so this didn't really surprise me. Getting that hit, I was actually kind of glad to start getting them out, and he was down to 3 cards, so it's like, oh, this isn't too bad.
Mhm. Yeah.
Famous last words.
yeah, it's hard. I know Prophet when I was talking to Phil and him was talking about as the filth he likes saving a horrify to protect Abomination with Demagogue, which
Oh,
I'm
oh,
not sure. Yeah.
spoilers.
I see. I see. Oh, I see. Spoiled.
That's literally
Yeah.
yeah. That was
Yeah.
the spoiler. And then yeah, you can't do anything without exposing Daymar if you want to do a attack that route. So it's just like, haha. And he left that summon spot open for me. So I was, yeah, like I said, worst feeling for me to have, feeling confident.
Hmm. So what do you have right now? Do you have flying on this
And-
guy or not?
I didn't have flying.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
trying to leave it open so I could threaten coming in with a volatile hit on him.
Hmm.
And if you put it under Abomination, then it'll be able to keep counting from Abomination. Whereas with those open gate spots, at any time that could be a wing mutant that could volatile, so he has to be playing awkwardly in that back corner.
That's a great idea.
And another free Daymar hit. This is so annoying.
Yeah.
Ooh,
The
the
one.
critical miss.
Yeah. A big
The
whiff.
critical miss.
I kind of expected Daymar to have the bigger whiffs than the Warriors, but you know,
Yeah.
you take it where you can get them.
Would have been interesting to have a winged here. Put that abomination beside. Oh, but that's true. That's a better one. Ooh,
And then,
ooh,
yeah, we
ooh,
get the reverse whiff.
Oh no!
Back to back.
ooh,
Oh no!
boyo.
So that is really bad because I was really hoping to get that boost so then I could throw the mutation on uh, the Abomination and get the extra heal and put him out of kill
Yeah.
range.
Mm. And also gives, like you said, I mean, they whiffed, but well, they didn't even whiff. Yeah, they wouldn't have killed it
Yeah,
without him.
the transfuse.
Yeah, then the transfuse is able to kill it, and yeah, because otherwise it would have been dead. He would have had to resummon, and it was, yeah. So the moral of the story is don't get confident. Just always assume it's going to go bad.
You get the 4 on the priest.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Clean
are you
up some
gonna
of the
get
garbage.
Yeah, that's what Cassia. Though I guess Cassia doesn't do too much. Oh wait, A bomb's down, so you have nothing to threaten actually. So it's hard. Hmm.
Hey, cultist, yep.
Beast makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get back in there, get the boost economy going.
Mm-hmm.
Beast and horror, I like it. This is a close game. You made it sound like this was a terrible
Yeah.
game by you, Astra. I think you
Ooh,
both played well.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
agree.
the unfortunate moment.
Hmm. Oh, 4 for 4? My God.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
No, Aaron did play it very well, so
Mm-mm.
this will certainly give the CO haters more fuel for the fire. But I would be happy to hear other people's thoughts. As I said, I haven't played before. When I was going into the match and thinking about it, it's like, ooh, this doesn't look favorable for the filth. So if people have some secret strategies or ways to approach it that doesn't make it so painful, I'd be very happy to hear them.
I think I liked you using Incanter Mutant early on just to clear things away, especially when it's a lot. But
Yeah, so I really like leaning into Encanter Mutant when you've got these shields, but I had both shields in my opening hand, so
mm,
I had to waste them. Well, not really waste them, but I had to use them in a less efficient manner than I normally like. Otherwise, I'd like to get Encanter down, throw down shield, and then just kind of go ham for a turn or two. So the Encanter was mostly brought in for that extra health, because that 5 health point, once again, is just really tough for Crimson Horde to deal with.
yeah, no,
But
great
yeah,
point. Yeah, with the because
counting
Warriors.
down all of his cards and going through all of his stupid. recursion.
And at this point, the game's over, especially with a full health Vanessa or Vesna.
Vesna.
Yeah. Hopeful 4 for 4 there.
Oh, hits himself. Let's see.
This one is curious. Why not Vesna?
Yeah, I think Aaron probably forgot. But I agree. Vesna's by far the better thing to hit.
Mm-hmm.
In case you one-shot your priest also, you might be throwing.
I think, because he was doing a couple of moves, I think he didn't know what my last card was, and I did throw away a cultist, so if he was counting, it would probably seem like it's a 50-50, and do you really want to like risk the game on 50-50 of what you threw? So yeah, there's a couple of maneuvers where it's just like, yeah, he doesn't know what my last card is. And I think it was the range cultist. I can't think what his name is. Malignant. That it?
Yep.
Their names don't really correspond with what they do, so
Yeah.
that threat was there, even with me painfully at 2 boosts. That 2 awful boost. If I just had
Yeah.
one more boost, this game would have been over.
It's also the interesting time where you don't want to really hit the gate too hard. Like,
oh yeah, well that's why I went with
Yeah.
Demigod, because I'm like, you're likely to go 3 for 3 on the. I know statistically, I think 4 ranged has a higher chance of doing more than 3 melee, but personally, I find the melee does better than the range, unless you need the range to miss, in which case you're going to get all hits.
yeah, it's like the thing. Something that's 2 health, usually the 2 for 2 sword or the 3 for, or into the 3 for 2, or sorry, 2 for 3 ranged. And it always feels like the 2 for 2 sword is better, even though statistically the 3 for 2 or the 2 for 3 range is better.
Yeah, but those range dice, not reliable. Not reliable.
Agreed. That was a good game though. That, like, literally, like you said, it came down to.
Oh yeah, it was right down to the wire. There was like 3 misses in the game that cost me it because I was down 1 boost. There was another time where I had to inefficiently summon back a mutant to get up to 7 magic because I missed a kill, and so I was down 1 magic and had to waste 3 boost to get that abomination breakpoint. So there was just very tiny dice rolls where they went my favor would have been done. But
do you want to watch more of your games, or do you want to watch me lose, or do you want to watch Beast win?
I want. Actually, I never got to see Beast Fae games. How'd they go?
I do want to see what you guys think about my Prophet game, because there was one fateful turn here.
All right, I won't even watch it get loaded up because so I don't know the outcome.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Well,
this
let's
is a
know
good
when
one.
it's going.
Because I was very impressed that you took the Fae. Forget meta, just take what you like.
Yep, that's
take your
against. Yeah, against all advice. Yeah. Honestly, ill-advised. I think they still stand to. They're still first on the block for a buff, in my opinion. So.
I completely
yeah,
agree.
I wouldn't be surprised if they got a little nudge by Joe in the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they need something. It's just too many. Like, since they're released, they've been sub 40%.
I still don't own them, so I'm kind of glad that they're a little rare at the moment because I have no idea how to play against them.
They are a faction, though, that if you do face them and you don't know how to face against them, you might lose really badly.
Yeah, agree. Yeah.
Oh, Prophet with the Vanguard. All right, I'm cheering for you, Beast, because right off the bat.
No, this one's tricky. I think I get myself with the opening move here, moving forward with a gate, which may or may not be a good move because you kind of want to surprise Sarah, especially against a good player like Prophet. He's not going to let you get any good hits against him. So you do need that surprise. So blocking myself off forward with this just to get a triple hit on the knight might not have been the move in hindsight, but what do you know?
Well, I'd be curious to know your thoughts on this matchup because my first instinct is that the Vanguard do not have a lot of dice, so I feel like you can really get Nymera up there and more active than you could in, say, something like Savannah Elves or another faction that can threaten huge hits.
Yeah, That's a tricky one because yeah, they don't have a lot of dice. Oh man, Prophet
Yeah,
with the 3 R3s.
3 for 3. Yeah.
This is
Oh,
yeah. He gets one more of that later on at a pretty crucial spot. But against Vanguards, it's a little tricky. Again, with maybe less defensive players, you can get a hit or a couple hits in there. But with a setup like this, Prophet knows to keep 2 knights around him always, or 2 bodies and a knight and a firing range for Sarah. So
Mm.
that made it
mm,
hard for me. I had to gate myself off again because I didn't have a good blocker here. Um, yeah, I think in general it's harder. It's a bit more textured for Fae to go up against Vanguards than it is the other way around. And I
Do,
think you would agree to Astra, but
do you think this is mostly due to tournament buffs, or do you think this is due to, like, in live, this would also be a hard
even
matchup?
in general, like in this game, Prophet doesn't really use Citadel archers against me.
Mm.
So yeah, here he goes crazy on my gates because that's where a lot of Faye's power comes from.
yeah.
So wise
That makes
move,
sense.
wise move. And then you guys get to see Mr. Econ me. You guys would love this.
There's a great. Was it you or was it someone else who was doing econ? Oh no, that was during
Oh,
OL in the
Panopticon.
finals.
Yeah, Panopticon, Mr. Black. They're both good SF players too. Shampoo almost lost to Mr. Black, or I think it was Mr. Plaid. One of those. Yeah, one of them. Playing SF, almost got one off Shampoo. Yeah, so I had to block with Scout here beside me just so they don't get 2 hits on Namira.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm sitting on a pretty bank of 7. Not not something you guys would commonly see. People
Are we going to
always
see
play
a
aggro.
Corrales? Is this a Corrales play?
This is kind of a Corrales game. This is a very
Hey!
interesting. Yeah,
I
but
love it.
that's way later.
See, if that was me, Jacob would have gotten a 0 for 3. Yep, yep.
Yeah. So I know Prophet is still threatening. Yeah, this is a stray. So this one is a stray high tide play, just so I can block Namira's flank.
Hmm.
And I'm just loading up boosts on Nim here, not really committing to anything big. Yep, and getting 2 hits on Jacob, making sure my scout is safe.
Oh.
But you've threatened your Oracle.
Yeah,
Oh no.
Oracle's so
imagine
bad.
that.
All right, I need to know your
Yeah.
thoughts about swarmlings because I do read everybody's kind of discussions and opinions, and they seem to be a little bit of a controversial unit. What's your feelings on them? I'm assuming you're now just the resident Fae expert.
Sort of. Swarms are. See, my principle with the Fae is minimum force necessary. It's exactly a page taken off your book, Astra. It's I don't want to invest anything more than is required because the Fae are so frail. Like here, I only invest an Oracle into this turn because I know I can get away with it, sort of. So I get a hit on the knight and then hit it with Nim, keep that
Mm,
bank of boosts on Nim, clear some people here. But for the Swarmlings, they're kind of your as Fate. It works to again your principle of minimum force necessary. It's like you get to reserve your burst potential for a very critical moment. The Fae is it's a faction really all about moments, I think.
mm.
So you really need to get that one good hit in, and they're just running scared, and you can take the lead from there.
Mm.
Vanguard pushing up to attack the 10 health gate.
Yeah. And here I
That's
take
not your
another
side of the board,
econ move.
Sarah.
Yeah. Another econ move from me.
Ooh, I like that.
So were you trying to
And
save
I
up for?
heal.
Mm.
Nothing. Actually, I'm just saving up because
You want that big.
Just there's nothing to spend on.
Mm.
So here, Swarm on Jacob. And this is, I think, the first Swarm of the game.
Yeah.
I think so also. You're just saving up for a champion, the 7 health one. Or the 7 cost. Or 6.
Yeah. So people, this is also, I guess, the other interesting playstyle to the Fae.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily that you play them offensively. Counter offensively, they can be as potent as well, just because they can get a lot of hits on you in a single burst.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, with all the summons and the
Yeah.
extra attacks. You
More. Look at this bullshit. More Oracle play from me.
can do.
I'm taking all this insight because I have an in-person turn coming up, and I just need to know everything I can with the Fae.
Okay, so
This is so much bullshit from me. Like a single Oracle hit. People could never.
As a Fae. Yeah.
So here I'm in striking range now. This is where I kind of begin my counteroffensive. But Prophet still keeps a bank of 4, which is always a good move. And he's not in a bad spot himself. He's in a commanding spot. I'm worried about my gate popping here, but I'm in kind of a decent fighting spot, so
And you've lost 2 gates so far, so you have 1 more remaining.
I have 1 more remaining.
Now, is it in your hand?
It's not in my hand as of this turn.
Okay.
Ooh. But at
Yep.
least you have another one.
And a Swarm coming out. Just trying to
Oh, here we
scare
go.
Sarah off. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The more health you can take off Sarah, the less she's going to feel comfortable positioning for risky, what are they called? Mites? Citadel Mite attacks?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Renewed hope.
Second
turn.
renewed hope.
I feel
And
like,
Sarah getting the 3 here is annoying.
oh, and the
Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
tragic. Oh, and then the paladin
Oh,
also
and
gets
the
it.
3 on the gate, too.
Yep.
Ugh. Blech.
Prophet always comes clutch with those perfect hits. Like every time I watch his game, there's a perfect hit.
You think he's you think of he's sacrificing, there's something he's sacrificing for this, it's a ritual
No.
to get the perfect dice at the right time.
Everybody go count your goats. Make sure you still have them intact.
This one's tricky. I'm in the heat of things. I'm smack dab in the middle of this formation, but
Oh, he's not getting the Colleen roll, so
Yep.
there we
And
go.
so,
And oh,
yep.
there we go.
Yeah. And
That
I
was a lot of
get
range based on him.
here. I was Swarm. Yeah.
And then we're getting the
Get
weight
more
in.
hits on Sarah. Yeah, so this is a decent spot for me, I think. I've got a fighting chance here.
Yeah, you have the magic.
But yeah, 6 magic, 3 cards left in deck. I'm kind of econing Vanguards.
The Vanguard Econ is so weird just because of the quirk of it being a master set release and probably not the smoothest that Flatout would like. They just burn through most of their deck and then they try to recoup it right at the end. So it's always hard to kind of read where they are on the. There he
this
is!
is where I make a mistake. So you guys can tell
thumbnail
me what you
paralysis?
guys would have done here.
Okay.
This formation, I think, is a mistake. I could have done this attack better.
So this you're talking about?
This turn specifically is the mistake. Regardless of the roll here, I think this is a mistake because I could have gotten the same hit on Prophet with a safer position. Yeah, you guys can go back to the start of the turn.
Yeah.
With the same pieces, without even knowing my cards, there's a better way to play this.
Oh, spoilers. Everyone close your eyes.
Okay.
Except for Shrez.
Sorry.
This is turn 19.
19, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So with the same pieces, like how would you guys have done this?
So we'll go through the summoning phase just so we know what we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
assuming there's no spearhead or any or
No.
any other follow-up event. Okay.
I do have a spearhead in hand, and I was saving it up for a double hit on Sarah, maybe.
Mm.
So what does Tide Shape even do? I have no clue what this thing.
It pushes the thing you attack.
That's all. I don't think you're the only one who feels that way. All right, let's take a moment. May Force. Oh, so you can push something without pushing Corrales.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
you can.
you'd ever been...
Okay.
But I do want to take up that gate spot that Colleen is on.
This
That's
one?
true.
Yeah, because if I push Colleen to the back, then Sarah can't fill that gap with a knight and keep the firing gallery.
And you also get the agreed.
So
yeah.
But from here, I moved to the knight and I moved Lyra away. So it took engagement damage.
From the knight to go down to 2. And then
Yeah, so to save you guys the thought, I know we don't want to go through all of this all day, but basically the better play in my head when I was thinking this through after was Nymira to behind Corrales and just the scout to hit Sarah nevertheless. Yeah.
I see.
Because me risking the kill on the knight doesn't really afford me much. It might actually put me in danger because of the turn following after. I lose Lyra and a bunch of HP on Nymira while achieving the same thing.
Yeah,
and
well,
getting a
just
hit
looking
on
at it
Sarah.
and moving Nymira over, you can't even protect her.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you do move the scout in, but
Yeah.
clear the knight.
Mm-hmm. I could clear up the knight. That's the only upside to what I did, but it's not really the goal.
No.
Because they have another 2 knights
Yeah.
with 4 magic.
Yeah. Yep. If I just move Nymira back here behind Corrales and just get the hit on Sarah with a scout, that's plenty good enough.
Yeah, because I guess you're
I
up
agree,
on
yeah.
cards. You want just Sarah to be super scared to even do anything.
Yeah, and I also had if I remember correctly, my hand here was a tiebreaker. I've got a Swarmling and a Spearhead on me. So I do have that burst potential if Sarah stays where she's at. Prophet knows he's definitely expecting some shenanigans, but if you're not careful,
Have
get
you
hit for
seen
7.
your other Deepwater sister, or is she still buried?
Oh, they're both buried. They were both endgame, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Ara's in the last 3 here.
Rough.
Yeah. So this turn was a mistake, and you guys will see how that plays out.
Well, in a dice game, it's only a mistake if you whiff, right?
Or they hit.
Or they hit, exactly.
And those
never
Colleen
punished.
rolls. Yeah, that was the other.
And the Corrales roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here Sarah can't
Corrales.
stay where she's at the very least.
Yeah, in case next turn you burst, especially with the knight at 2.
So here I lose Lyra. And Holy Judgment.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Looks like Colleen's at 7 instead of 5.
Yeah.
Laying you down to 2. Maybe.
And I go down to 2.
Yeah, true.
I'll luck out off that one, but
yeah, if he got you down to 1.
It's over, yeah.
Yep, so just cute plays here.
Trying to keep away, yeah. Abusing the Vanguards not being able to move too far.
Come on. Yeah, there you go. Get out of here, Colleen. You at least kill her. Moral victory.
Yeah, and from here, there's just basically no game. If I had a high tide, maybe, but...
Yeah, it's going to be hard getting to her.
Yeah. No, this was a good study on, I guess, defensive Shimmer Sea Fae.
Yeah, you did well. I think That's way better than I thought it would against, especially against what some would
Mm-hmm.
argue the best econ faction in the game.
Who would argue that?
I
Give me
don't
names.
know.
I'll message them later.
Tell them what's up.
Yeah, my final swarm going out here.
No.
Got the night.
Colleen's getting work done.
Oh,
Yep.
Pauline.
Yeah.
I'm curious if
Yeah. That.
go on. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's game. That's it.
After this.
He just wins right
That's
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do much.
Yeah, it's just going to be a slow grind at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you moved up, attacked with Scout, put her in like 3 health range, then he can't play quite as aggressive because you can always just scout it
Yeah.
for the
Mm-hmm.
win with
Yeah.
a snipe. Yep. I
The
see
miss.
it. Um,
And the
the 3 for 3.
Too late.
Yep.
Protect that, Colleen. And then I'm assuming 3 for 3 in return.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Well, this
Yeah.
is another close
That's
game.
game.
Yep.
GG's.
That was a great game.
GG's.
That was a great game.
Remember, kids, minimum force necessary.
To do what you want to. Yeah.
Yep.
Least amount of
Oh,
resources.
he's still
spent.
top 2. Look at
So
that.
funny story about that. I actually messaged Nick and Joe and told them that I have to forfeit.
Ah.
So I'm giving up the second spot. It's likely gonna go to Chibata, possibly, because I think he's the only one at 6-2 with 13 tournament wins.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I have to forfeit because the playtesting and another playtesting thing going on.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, the tournaments it's great to do well, but they take so long.
they take so
They
long, and
take
it's
so
so
long.
mentally draining. Do I really want to do this with the top players? Maybe, but
So stressful.
I'm pretty much fine just watching you all play. It's the same enjoyment, same fun.
It's great being able to sit back and commentate and be like, "Ooh, you shouldn't have done that."
Exactly.
Yeah,
Not so much when you're in the thick of it going, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh no, undo."
Especially when you see their hand, then you can really comment, with their
Yeah,
opponent's
yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
You see their opponent's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was a tough tournament, I think, in general. So it's
Oh,
very
and
cool.
then only top 2 move on from the second round. What is going on here, people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people
This is
signed up.
bloodthirsty. Holy moly!
I mean, there's a lot of great players.
And it's the same players from your pool. It's
I
And
agree.
I ended up in a pool with like every cave goblin player in it, and I took like the 4 factions that were terrible against cave
I
goblins. Like
saw
wonderful.
that. That was rough.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I'm
Yeah.
just going in
Watching your
hoping don't
SO
get that.
game.
What? Oh, which what?
Oh no, watching your Swamp Orcs game was
Oh,
just yeah.
Oh, yeah, in the first round.
against fish.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to
Fisk.
pronounce
Yeah.
it. Against that jerk, which is going to be his name now. I had a kill shot. It was a long shot one. It's just like, oh, there's no way I'll get it because I had to go for like 3 for 3 on melee. Like that's not happening. And after I took the turn, it's just like, I don't know why I didn't go for it because I'm against cave golems, that's swamp orcs. I'm not going to get a better shot at this. I should have just
I
taken
think yeah, I think I remember that. That was a turn where you put a vine gate to this side and you did a drudger turn with some and some.
it.
Was that it?
Uh, he slide and
He
sneaks
slid into
aggressively, and he was
yeah,
at
I
7
remember
health. And oh, I hope you're not loading it up. If you are,
Yeah.
I'm running away. I saw it, and I did have a bit of. So I don't like doing plans unless I've got a contingency backup because my dice are unreliable. And I had a bit of
Yep.
it, but it's just like, oh, it's. I worked out the math. Thank you, Massimo, for your dice calculators. And I think it was around 55%, maybe 60. It's like, ooh, that's not as high as I like it to be. And
Mm.
after I took that turn, I was just kind of like, I don't know what I was thinking. Why didn't I just go for it? I'm not going to get another shot. It's terrible. But yeah, no, I flat think this is the worst matchup for Swamp Orcs in the game. I
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
this matchup so much.
It's
Agree.
interesting because I wouldn't think about it, but you're definitely right. Because you don't care how hard you hit if you're
No,
yeah.
Yeah.
You can hit for
Boosting bug luck is pointless. They're all like 2 or 3
exactly.
health. It's just like whatever. And you don't really have the extra attack. Like if you can get Splack out, it helps, but they just eat through it so fast. And they eat through your swamp.
Mm.
I think also the other frustrating thing with it is the ease of use of the deck is really unbalanced. Like Swamp Orcs is very complex, very technical, and Cave Goblins is just like rush forward. Not to diminish Cave Goblin players, there's strategy and tricks and everything, but like I every time when I pick up the Cave Goblin deck is largely because I just want to rush for it. It's the same with what I do with Wayfarers. Like if I don't want to think too hard, I'm playing Wayfarers.
Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I think it has to do with comfort also. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Well, I'm glad that jerk is able to rep his Cave Goblins and show that they're top tier.
it's like we can go to a different game. I know.
It's mostly a stop. Yeah, you don't need to watch that one. And then the next round, I got Wayfarers versus Polar Dwarves, which is
Oh no. Oh
another.
no.
I
Oh, I saw that.
yeah. Well, you kicked my ass in the last tournament I played with in that matchup too. Um, I listened very intently to Vexer talking about it because I think he did a thing with Ben on how to play it because they were doing it in the league, and he's just like, oh, it's simple. You just fight for the middle board and just go 5 for 6 with Celeste against the
So,
gold and everything. It's like, when do
yep,
you ever go
sure.
5 for 6 with Celeste?
Yeah, repeatedly.
So,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
sometimes
just roll better.
yeah, that's the best and worst part about summoners, right? It's hard to there's so many factions. It's hard to ever get repeats. Like usually your experience is based off 1 or 2 matchups, unless you
Yeah,
made that
Yep.
faction. So you
yeah.
have assumptions about the matchup, even though technically it was just like a nuance for that game.
Well,
Um,
I've had the Polar Dwarf versus Wafer one several times for luck of the draw, and yeah, all of them are just you just get shut out so
yeah,
hard.
there's high health, and they prevent you
Oh,
from
those
going in any.
and they can build just a line of golems. Like, yeah, the Great Wall is it's not the worst strategy. It's not oftentimes the best strategy, but it's exactly what Polar Dwarves want to do, and so it's just it's frustrating.
All
Not my favorite matchup.
right. I can do one more game, and then I have to go. What
Yep.
game would you guys be interested in seeing? What you guys haven't seen, or
Oh, I'm happy to give Peanut Gallery commentary on anything. I could smack talk to the best of the players.
Beast? Is there any
um,
I just
you'd be interested in?
which one was a good one here? There was a particular one that I remember.
I haven't gone through the
Um,
pool, so yeah, I don't know any
oh, you
good
could you
matchups
could
off the
take a
top.
look at Shampoo and Mr. Plaid's SF versus Filth game. That
Okay.
one's an interesting one.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Yeah, the almost win for SF, and it was all because of a misstep. It's all a misstep. I tell you guys, I kid you not.
That's the worst feeling. Going to bed knowing you made a mistake in a
Oh,
Platinum
Mm-hmm.
tournament.
oh. I
Mm-hmm.
try not to take
Yeah.
my turns right before bed because of that. So like before I like I'll take a turn an hour or maybe 2 hours before bed, but that is just like no, there's cut off because yeah.
No, I
Otherwise,
got you
like
guys
what I was
beat.
thinking.
That profit turn that I made, I did at like 3 a.m.
Oh
from
no.
going into work. I was coming
Oh,
home from work too. Yeah. So
yeah. All right, I have to ask, does anybody know Mr. Plaid? I've seen him like recently, but has he been around a long time and I just haven't noticed, or is he kind of like new to the scene?
I think he's been around.
He's been around?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least like a year or more. I think
Oh,
he's
okay.
whenever I joined that year.
Um, yeah, because I've seen some of his games and he plays really well, but it's just kind of like I'm not very familiar with the name. Now,
Yeah.
I can also have a bad memory. I do have bad memory, so no, no shade to you, Mr. Plaid, but I was just kind of like, oh, he's an exciting new player for me. Now,
Swarm on the tentacle.
yeah, having not played this matchup, it does seem kind of interesting because both factions kind of want to rush at each other. I know the Fae don't like when people kind of get up in the grill in the midfield and have to push through a whole bunch of garbage, which I
Yeah.
think the Filth are probably well positioned to do.
Yeah. I think so. It's a tricky one. I think maybe you want to lead with bursting here. because yeah, just bursting is annoying for Phil, or for Shimmer Sea Fae.
Yeah, because their
But
health is so low.
right, but either way, you could play a mean game here. I think yeah, you guys are seeing it right now.
Mm. What would be the Fae buff?
Oh, A-bomb in your opening hand is the worst.
Do you think Beast is like a one change thing like they did with Grox, or do you think it's multiple things has to change?
There's a couple things we've all been tossing around ideas on how to quote unquote fix Shimmer Sea Fae. Um, I think it's a combination. Already, you guys can see that if you play them a certain way, you can get a bit more mileage.
Mm.
There's more mileage you can squeeze than people claim. Like
Hmm.
I get it just fine, but some gripes I do have would be just how gate centric and how champion centric the faction could be, but
Right.
not really a good way to make that plan more consistent besides scouts and oracles. If High Tide the epic was a tutor for a gate or a champ,
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, the rolls
oh.
this round.
The worst is
Yeah,
when you,
rough
you go
roll.
your melee attack
Oh!
first and it's all range because you know the next
Yeah.
range attack is going to be all melee.
Exactly, all melee.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, without fail.
Without fail, yep.
Puts
Yeah.
down a blocker oracle here. This one's an interesting one.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. You roll melee two special range dice, and then you only
Yeah,
have range
Mm-hmm.
dice left. You're like, God damn
yeah.
it.
You're just like,
Yep.
should I just pass the turn now? People are coming in for the commentary. We're just going to be discussing the dice algorithm.
That's a high value bursting right there.
Yeah. Oh, and the
First thing so good. But yeah, I agree.
I want to use bursting more. It is good. I always just struggle with hucking it into the enemy because oftentimes you get out of the range of your demagogue, and I want
Oh,
those
of
boosts.
your
I need those boosts.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
play a lot of Filth
yeah.
Beast?
I do play a lot of filth. I take them this tournament. I took them this tournament.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
all
have
win
to watch
so
the
far.
games.
Yeah, they're doing very well. They are, I think,
Yeah.
high 50s currently. Especially for, I think they're the second most played faction this tournament outside of Crimson
Yeah.
Order. So they're
Yeah.
That's
doing really
nice.
well.
That's good.
I was really surprised with how low the tree numbers were. I thought Eden's
Mm.
public campaigning would get more people signing up with him. He needs to tree big harder.
Big tree.
Oracle here next to the horror.
So both
Oh,
sisters
just the
out.
bomb. Yeah,
That's got to be a good feeling.
the spearhead. Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah. And they're both on the. Ooh, this is not a position I'd want to be in with this
Oh, the
demagogue.
4 for 4.
Yeah, get that one. This is exactly the spot that Shimmer Sife want to be in when they're on the.
Hmm. They almost remind me of the Forged in that they kind of just want to go up and crush the enemy against the back row.
Yeah. If you get the right cards, yeah, you could really put on this kind of show.
So who did you bring for the tournament? You brought the Filthy, brought the Fae.
Yeah. I brought Shadow Elves and I brought Storm Goblins.
Oh, you're Filthy Shadow Elf player. I
Yep.
see.
I know. Yeah, unforgivable.
I do want to learn the Storm. I feel Storm would be good. I still
That's
need to buy Storm and Fae is the
in
issue.
real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, because I purchased the decks individually for the app.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm a little
Do you
behind.
think they're up your alley?
Yeah, I agree. I think
Yeah,
they love Storm.
they look fun. I haven't seen a lot of them, so I haven't played against them, so I'm just kind of have no idea what they do. I have a general idea. I've seen a couple of games, but it's just they
Yeah.
look fun.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'll
this
watch your
one's
games.
wild. This one's wild. You guys will like this turn.
Ooh, okay. He put flight on. All right. Yeah.
It's an odd zeal, honestly.
Yeah, because he didn't even need the boost.
Oh, whiff!
Yeah.
The double whiff.
Okay, but we clear the
And
gate.
Trying to get the magic, I guess.
Oh, it always sucks to pitch a hopeful,
yeah.
especially when you got so many cultists left.
And
Mm-hmm. Faye
Oh,
at it
the
with a
3
3 for 3.
Oh,
for...
oh no!
Oh my goodness.
the 2 for 2. Is that
Laying
enough?
on the
No
herd.
way! No
Yep.
way! No way!
And then another 3 for 3. Oh,
Nope,
whiff!
no. Not quite. But still.
No,
That's
but
all
you're
really did it.
so like
Still.
abomination at what is it, 3?
3.
Oh,
Yeah, 3's
Yeah.
fun.
Yep.
I don't know. At that point
A-bomb
in
is
time, I
out of
might
the
just
game.
slap a bursting back on it because it's not going to last. Oh, but bursting's still out.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Interesting shampoo. Oh, they put. Oh, I guess you can't see it. So they put it underneath a bomb. Makes sense. The beast.
Yep.
Yep. Get the boost. So I don't know if anybody watching cares about the filth, but one of the things I always keep in mind when I'm mutating Abomination is anything you put under it presumably is kind of lost for most of the game because you're not going to lose Abomination right away. So I generally try to use mutants that I don't think will be better value to summoning them on board. So
Yeah.
personally, I don't like horror because it only lasts for like what is it, 4 health if you're, I can't remember the text on it. If you have 3 or more damage on it, just know it turns off.
Yeah.
Whereas if you summon horror as a support and it dies, you can resummon it to keep protecting Abomination.
Protecting A-bomb, yeah.
But as you saw in my games, the other reason why I don't like throwing Flight early on Abomination because I like using it as a threat for another unit on board.
Mm.
And there it goes. Wow.
Yep.
Got 2 turns with A-bomb.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Tragic.
Oof.
And then also, this looks like like you said, beast.
This is a terrifying position for Filth.
Yeah.
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 These are funny gate positions. I like it. It's like a fortress.
Yeah, what is with that? All right, Beast, explain this back gate to me.
Oh, the back gate?
Yeah.
Which gate?
Somebody call Shampoo. Get the I want to know. I want to know the reason behind that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I can explain that other than a high tide fear, maybe.
I think he was afraid of the gate getting surrounded, and then, but the problem is, it's difficult.
It's an interesting placement, I have to say.
Shampoo might be computing for like a scout hit on someone plus a surprise gate from Nymera. Get good hits on Demagogue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't see a lot of Fae. I don't play Fae, so I don't know what that would be specifically trying to block. Not saying it's a bad one, Shampoo, who's probably not watching, but if you are not saying saying you're terrible and you're garbage and you should never play the Filth again, I'm just curious.
No. Astro's saying that. He's saying you're terrible at this game, Shampoo.
Yeah.
I'm saying
I heard what I heard.
Final Destination, Fox only, no items. Let's go.
Finally. Okay, so there's assassination possibility next turn on Namira.
Yep. Good hits.
Yep. Interesting.
But Nymera is weathering.
Plaid is not doesn't think 5-on-5 is going to happen.
Was not worried about that tentacle still hitting him.
No magic.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because we could, oh no, he only has that one magic, I see. Okay.
I guess the one thing Shampoo's very happy about in this position is, like you said, they have all their cultists basically in their last couple.
Yeah, the Filth are interesting because you are so draw dependent. I just had a game this morning where I had no mute and I had to play with was the tentacle. Kept drawing into my cultists and my I think I got one of my volatiles like in the second last turn. So you do have to be very flexible playing them.
Agree.
I won't
Ooh.
lie, I did like what first edition where you could just sit back and play very defensive and low economic. I know that's a shock for people, but this being a little more faster and aggressive is kind of nice too.
Because in
Ooh,
1E
yeah.
you didn't have to attack, right? You didn't take damage if you didn't attack.
Yeah,
Breaker?
you didn't have to attack, and you exchanged an attack for Demgod to pull back a mutation instead of spending boost or anything. So they were really susceptible to rush. So my friends who like basically just ran forward and hit you in the face was the best tactic to do against them. But
Yeah.
interesting.
On the scout? Interesting. On Inara.
Yeah, I'm curious why we went for Nara.
You don't really want to open that gate spot. Volatile for
The tentacle.
A preemptive tentacle
okay.
summon with volatiles, interesting.
Yeah. Just to not lose the body.
Yeah, but like he used the other one to attack. I guess, yeah. Interesting. I mean, I would be pretty scared because you are low on bodies. You've only got the one
Yeah.
malignant left.
Right.
This is a
I
crazy
think you
game.
just go for the bodies here. Yeah. Not even a hit on Dema.
Yeah.
Yep. Good choice.
So I'm just trying to clear everything out.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I can get behind it.
Yeah.
I like it, especially like you said with the boost. They already have 3 boosts on the demo.
Yeah, so at this point, you guys have to wonder, how did Shimmer Fae lose this game? Yeah, with just a Malignant in hand. Oh boy. Oh
Including
boy,
with
oh
some
boy.
whiffs. Some whiffs are in order.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
All right, I see.
We got
Oh, you got the 2 on 2 on
do
there.
they miss
Interesting.
the one? Oh, interesting. Why didn't we clear the cultist?
Yeah, wrong attack order here.
Yep.
Yeah. Now that one's okay.
It gets perfect dice after this.
No.
Oh my. Damn. What an end.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Oh, whiffs. But it's kind of stuck here
Mm-hmm.
at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then next turn,
Well,
Yeah.
Faye must just whiff.
oh,
This one is a kicker. This one is it. This one is it.
I mean,
You
4
could have
for
healed
2.
here.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, but then they attacked with the
Yep.
scout. Oh no.
Yep.
Oh, that was a late night turret, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Beautiful.
I forgot.
Oh, that's
Beautiful.
heartbreaking. Oh.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yep.
oops. That's an oops. That's one of those
Yeah.
ones where you desperately try to unwind. Oh
Yeah.
no.
It's one of those. It's
The
one
worst
of
is when
those.
you do it, and right as the dice are starting to roll, you realize that your mistake before you even see it. It's like, ah.
Yep.
That was fun, guys. Thank you for joining. I'll
Oh
probably
yeah.
stream later this week at some point. We can watch more games if you guys are on, or whoever wants to join.
Yeah. I'd
I'll,
be
I'll
happy
be
to come
streaming
in and,
too.
give people bad advice and terrible commentary.
Yeah.
You guys a great commentary. And then we can make some Dark Horse predictions for I guess it starts on Tuesday. So
Ooh.
Ooh,
Okay, so
good
quick
play.
question. The person who won the last tournament was who?
Lazarus. Yeah, Orange Lazarus was fighting against IX, who goes by a different name right now.
I was trying to look
XIX.
XIX. And Orange Lazarus won.
Yeah.
Okay.
XIX brought Shimmer Sea Fae, my man.
They made it to the
Hey.
finals.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yep.
Do they go by another handle? I'm not familiar with.
I'm not
Assume they
sure.
do, or they quit
XIX.
one or the other.
Yeah. I think XIX brought Polar Dwarves, I think. Shimmer Sea Fae. Forget what else, but they're a good player.
Mm.
Absolutely a good player.
Yeah,
All
But
right,
it's
Orange
feeling
Lazarus
like
wasn't playing.
I'll look at the everybody who's in the top two, and I'll try to before we meet up again get the picks for the finals.
sounds good. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's do a dark horse bracket next time.
Yeah.
I'll message you by
I like it.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully the one thing which was disappointing about last finals was the order they did the games, because they should have done OL win, XIX win, and then OL last game. You know,
Oh,
versus
Oh,
how they did it before was OL win, so you already knew, and so the last game no one was really paying
oh,
Yeah.
oh, and
attention.
they showed all
Yeah.
three.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
that's a oops.
even though, like you said, XIX played an amazing. That was a great
XIX is
game.
amazing. Yeah, they're a good
The
player.
Forge versus Shadow Elves, they did amazing. Yeah. But yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah. Good
Yeah,
Talk to you
stuff.
guys later.
sounds
All right.
good.
Peace out, y'all. All right.
Have a good one.